Sleep isn't a passive state. It's not just the body going offline for a few hours while the mind drifts into a dreamy slideshow of nonsense. It's one of the most biologically active, neurologically critical, and psychologically restorative processes a human being can experience. And yet, modern life treats sleep like an optional upgrade, as if we can get by with the factory settings. The result? A worldwide population that's moodier, foggier, more forgetful, and chronically more anxious than it needs to be. The science is clear. Sleep doesn't just make you feel better, it is the foundation for being a functional, emotionally stable, cognitively competent human being. Let's start with mood. The frontal lobe, the part of your brain responsible for emotional regulation, rational thinking, and impulse control, relies heavily on high-quality sleep to function properly. Miss a few hours, and your brain starts operating like it's under the influence. The amygdala, which governs threat detection and fear responses, becomes hyperactive when you're sleep-deprived, while the prefrontal cortex, the amygdala's calmer, more reasonable sibling, gets sluggish and unresponsive. What does this mean in real life? It means you're more likely to overreact, misread social cues, snap at loved ones, or spiral into negative thought loops because your brain literally cannot regulate your emotional states. You're not just tired. You're emotionally compromised. It gets worse. Studies show that even partial sleep loss significantly increases the likelihood of developing anxiety and depressive symptoms. One sleepless night can increase anxiety levels by up to 30%, and chronic insomnia is one of the strongest predictors of depression. The brain needs REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep, not only for emotional regulation but for recalibrating neurotransmitters like serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine. Skipping out on sleep is like skipping maintenance on a high-performance engine. You can do it for a while, but eventually something breaks, usually with tears, panic, or apathy. Memory, too, takes a direct hit when sleep is sacrificed. While you sleep, especially during deep slow-wave sleep and REM phases, your brain performs a kind of nightly housekeeping. It consolidates new memories, files away relevant information, and discards mental junk. The hippocampus, the brain's memory hub, relies on this process to move short-term memories into long-term storage. Without adequate sleep, this consolidation is incomplete, like saving your files with corrupted metadata. You might try to learn a new skill or absorb a lecture, but the information simply doesn't stick. It's not that you're forgetful, it's that your brain never finished processing. Even more intriguing is the effect of sleep on learning capacity. Research shows that sleep before learning is essential to prepare the brain to absorb new information, while sleep after learning helps solidify it. If you're cramming all night for a test, you're likely doing more harm than good. Sleep deprivation shuts down hippocampal activity, meaning even if you're awake and reading, your brain isn't recording. The entire concept of pulling an all-nighter should come with a Surgeon General's warning for cognitive impairment. In reality, a well-slept brain can learn faster, retain more, and problem-solve more effectively than a sleep-deprived one working twice as hard. And then there's resilience, the ability to bounce back from stress, recover from emotional hits, and face daily chaos without becoming a twitching mess. Sleep is the brain's main recovery mechanism. Without it, stress hormones like cortisol remain elevated, inflammatory processes ramp up, and coping mechanisms break down. You become less patient, less adaptable, and more reactive. Minor inconveniences feel like existential threats. Emotional wounds linger longer. When people say sleep on it, they're not just being poetic. Your brain genuinely needs time offline to process emotional distress, recalibrate its stress response, and restore psychological stability. Deny it that recovery time, and you're not building resilience, you're burning it. This isn't just individual weakness or a lack of discipline, it's neurobiology. And, unfortunately, most of society is designed to ignore it. Schools start too early, workplaces demand late nights and early mornings, and technology tempts us into perpetual wakefulness with a constant feed of dopamine-drenched distractions. We act surprised when mental health declines, but the reality is we're engineering our own emotional fragility through sleep neglect. Sleep is not a luxury, nor is it some quirky personal preference. It is a biological imperative. It is as critical as food, water, and oxygen to your psychological health. When people report feeling anxious, distracted, overwhelmed, or emotionally unstable, the first question should not be, "What's wrong with you?" It should be, "How have you been sleeping?" Because until we stop treating sleep like downtime and start respecting it as active neurological therapy, we'll keep waking up in the same foggy haze, wondering why everything feels harder than it used to. Spoiler alert, it's not life getting harder. It's your brain begging for rest.